Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Lair. My name is Caleb, and you guys are jumped in joining us for our podcast. This is a podcast that's for our youth ministry that's based out of a church in Everett, Washington called True Life Youth. And so we are excited to jump in, have some time to tell some stories, have some good conversation. Every week on the Lair, we take some time to have fun together. We take some time to be able to dive deep on some topics. And also we take time to look ahead at some stuff coming up for our ministry. Now, really quick, really fast, my name's Caleb, as I already said, and we got some guests with us today. Today we got Erica with us, we got Kennedy with us, and we have Jacob Davis with us.
Yay.
And so we are jumping in, diving into the Lair. Let's have some conversations. First off, every week we start out just having some fun, sharing some stories, talking about where we're at. So everybody, who's had something fun happen this week or the last couple weeks, or a fun fact, or anything?
You threw the fun fact out there. Well, as I was watching the last episode or the episode before, I'm not really sure, of the Lair podcast, because yes, I watched the episodes, I noticed that you can clearly see on the camera that my feet don't reach the ground when I sit on this couch, and it's just kind of sad because everyone else is like, your legs are crossed, and like it still is at the point of where my legs are. So if I want to sit with my feet on the ground, I literally have to sit with like an inch of my body on the couch, unless I want it. But if I relax, then you just I gotta go all the way back. So I like kind of find a middle ground, but I'm trying to figure it out. Anyways, I just
Very interesting.
I needed to bring that up because at some point people were gonna notice and be like, her feet don't touch the ground. I am, in case you're wondering, because we talked about what size shoes I wear, which is a 3 in kids. I am 4 feet 9 inches tall, which is right at the legal height limit for a booster seat. So, yeah, I was in a booster seat till I was 13 because that's the age at which you cannot be in a booster seat anymore.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, there you go. Been the same height since 7th grade.
Learn more every day.
Every day.
All right, now really quick, we got somebody special with us today, and that is Erica.
What's up, guys?
You just joined the BCA team. You just joined our church as our kids pastor.
Yep.
Now, where have you been before?
So it was pretty much in Canada before. My house was like 15 minutes to Canada. So
Nice.
I come from a super small town. I was just telling them, I've only been in Everett for not even 2 weeks, and I've already had some pretty interesting encounters. So
There we go.
Yeah, the gas stations here hate me. Every time I've pumped gas this week, every time I've either gotten the wrong pump, wouldn't take my card, something broke, and then my absolute favorite was I pressed regular, and it started pumping premium. So girl did not want to pay for that, but we did anyway, so it's fine.
Fun stuff.
Wow.
Fun stuff. You know what? You learn the ins and out of Everett pretty quick, though. I will say that.
I'm hoping.
Hopefully. Are you right now still commuting down from pretty much the border of Canada?
No, so thankfully I live only like 20, 25 minutes away now. So.
Nice. Very cool, very cool. Well, you know what? Today, we're going to take some time. We always want to have some fun, share some stories. We want to take some special, a little bit longer amount of time, going in depth today, talking a little bit more about some stuff. And mainly, that's talking about the collection of talks that we're doing in True Life right now called The Arrival. Now, if you've not been able to join us in person or check out the live stream or check out our social media, The Arrival is all about how when Jesus arrives in our lives, you know what? Everything changes. All of the options, the possibilities, the empowerment of the Spirit in our lives, it changes everything that we are capable of and able to do. And the way we're doing it is we're looking at stories of people in the Bible that when Jesus encountered them, they saw a radical change and they saw their lives have an amazing impact going forward. And guess what? Jesus wants to do that for every single one of us. So we're talking about it, we're jumping in, and the way we're doing it is by talking about something that might be a little bit controversial, and that is the moon landing. And so the way we're talking about
The moon landing.
the way we're talking about it is that when people landed on the moon some years ago, I should probably know how many years ago it was, but some years.
It's been a minute.
It's been a little bit. When we landed on the moon, it changed everything. that humanity viewed as possible. This impossible task had been accomplished, and the ability of what man saw as possible had changed. And in the same way, when Jesus arrives in our lives, we see that everything can change. Now, really quick, I have to say, because some of y'all right now are wanting to comment that the moon landing's fake, that it wasn't real, that my voice just cracked, whatever it may be. You know what? I was listening to a comedian the other day, and one of the funniest things he said is he started talking about the moon landing and conspiracy theories, and he just ended up saying, he was just like, man, you know what? Like, the most American thing ever would be if we faked the moon landing. Would be if America was like, yeah, we landed on the moon. We made a studio where we were able to make it look like it, and we're just going to tell you we did. It is a very American thing. You know what? I think we landed on the moon, and I think Jesus wants to do something in your lives. That's a youth pastor transition if I've ever heard one.
Jesus launches and lands in our heart.
There we go. So really quick, we want to actually get serious for a second. We want to talk about this idea. Y'all, when you guys think about this idea of Jesus arriving in your heart, we talked about it a couple weeks ago just a little bit, but I think important things are worth going back to a couple of times. And so when you guys think about this idea of Jesus arriving in our lives and everything changing, just what's kind of your first thoughts? What's some of your thoughts about the things that change? What are some of the possibilities that you think are opened up to? How can it impact the world around us? What are some thoughts on that?
I think perspective changes, right? Because you realize that now you have this hope. And before I found Jesus, it was, full of self-doubt and self-esteem issues and all this thing. And when I finally realized that, no, God is for me, he has a plan for me, it changed my whole perspective on the way that I view myself, the way that I view other people. And so really, I think it's a perspective change.
Definitely. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I would definitely say, bouncing off what Erica said, it's a whole perspective change, one, and I think it's a whole, just mentality change. Yeah, mentality change, perspective change. Same thing, but, why, just, a piece of my story is I got saved my sophomore year? I don't really remember. Sophomore year of high school, let's say. I had a friend in 8th grade who he was, my best friend, and, he went off to a different high school, right after 8th grade. We were best friends. I wasn't saved in 8th grade. We reconnected my senior year, and he didn't really know my story, and he was like, something's changed about you. I don't know what's up, but he's like, something is different about you. I don't know what it is, but it's just your mentality, your perspective on life. It's just changed. And like what Erica said, our hearts, our minds, it changes whenever we have that. When Jesus lands on the moon, he lands on our hearts, and that our perspective changed.
So good. Kennedy, do you have any thoughts?
No, I mean, it's pretty much kind of the same as you guys said, but I just think of it's a mentality change, and it also just affects the way you live your life and live out your life. So it's just so evident when you go, Sierra talked about it last week on the Lair, how when she was at her work at a restaurant, people notice our difference in our mood. And so it's just super cool to when you're in a moment, I think about when I was in middle school, a high school in our area went through a really hard time, and people were going around keeping them in their thoughts, keep them in your prayers. And I had a teacher look at me and was like, I know you're going to be able to be praying about this one. And I was like, you didn't even know I was a Christian, but she just I asked her about it, and she was like, how did you know I'd be praying? And she's like, I can just see the little sparkle in your eye. You can people can tell when Jesus is in your heart, and it's just so evident by your attitude and really just the values that you hold. And so I think it's really cool.
Totally. Well, and one of the things with that even then is us being able to receive that. Being willing to receive that change and that opportunity. A few weeks ago, we're talking about Jesus and the demoniac, probably the most kind of intense story that we were able to talk about within this. And we look and we see this man who was overcome by demonic possession. And these people see what the impact of what was happening to him was, because then they see when he was set free. And then they're just like, what is Jesus doing? It's so insane. It's so outside of what we could imagine, but it's possible. We're talking about this idea of the arrival then. And you know what? I just want to encourage you all, if you're hearing this conversation, if you're listening to this right now and you're like, man, I want to know more about this, check out the live stream services. Check them out. We archive them. We keep them there. They are there for you. You know what? You can skip past worship if you don't want to sit through 20 minutes of that. If you do, that's awesome. Listen to that worship. But also, if you're just like, man, I'm tuning into these and I just want to get to that message, you can skip ahead if you want to. after the fact and that sort of a thing. But hey, really quick, we also want to take a second to preview something coming up, and that is, Kennedy, we love worship. That's not the point.
I'm just sitting here thinking about that. Skip through worship.
Oh my God.
It's not the right mindset, Caleb.
I'm not saying that.
Oh, Caleb, wow.
All right, we're gonna skip past this, and we are gonna talk about something coming up that we want you guys to be excited about, and that is summer camp. We got summer camp coming back this year. You should be excited about it. If you've never been, you're gonna want to be there. We got a lot of details rolling out to y'all really, really soon. But really quick, we just wanted to share really fast. There's a lot of reallys in this right now.
Really?
But we wanted to share really fast some really good stories about summer camp and why you should be excited about summer camp. And so can you guys help me out? What's some things that you guys would say is why a student should go to summer camp?
The games.
The games.
The competitions. So if you guys don't know, at summer camp every year, we have multiple churches that come to the summer camp. And it's a really cool way to meet other people that are in this faith and just really in this community as a whole. And so one of my best memories is when you get there, you get split up into teams. And so it's usually like what we do is our life groups get put on a team with like, usually for like us, it's with boys from another church. And so one of my best memories, and you're all competing and you like, you're like a country and your country. Anyways, it's really cool. So one of our games one year, do you know those big blow up balls that you can ride in?
Knocker balls.
Knocker balls. So we had a knocker ball competition one time, but it was on a tarp with water and soap, and everyone's in a knocker. Well, not everyone. They only had like 4 knocker balls. And so you would put a person from your team in, and you would all just run to the middle. And, like, it was crazy. So we had, like, all girls around, all guys around. And then I remember we had 2 people from each team go in. And they picked the smallest person on your team and the largest person on your team. And obviously, what we talked about at the beginning of the episode, I'm a small person. So I was the person that got sent in my knocker ball, which went past my knees. So I couldn't, like, bend my legs as I was walking on the slippery tarp because I didn't have much room in there. But it was me against, like, these 6'2", like, huge guys from other churches. And then, like, you know, it was other, like, high schoolers aren't small. And then there's, like, me in high school. And so I just I think I blacked out. But I remember, like, slipping while I walked in there and then, like, just getting kicked around. I won that game, I think, out of pity.
Is there, like, video evidence of this? That we
I don't know, but I wish.
If there is, here it is. Probably don't have it.
I don't think there is. I don't think
next
there
year's
is.
promo. You know.
It was a long time ago, but it was so fun. It was so fun.
Awesome. Erica, do you have some things you would tell students, hey, this is why you should go to summer camp?
Yeah, it doesn't involve dangerous situations, but I try to stay away from danger as much as possible. But no, just I remember being 19 years old. I was even a leader. Like I signed up to be a leader, and that's when I like fully embraced my calling to be a pastor. I remember like God speaking so vividly and just confirming that in my life. I was trying to run as fast as I can the other direction, and just by just having those really just special moments with students and with our leaders and all of that. It's like God just revealed so many things to me. And so if you're on the fence and you're like, is camp for me? I don't know. I'm not into knocker ball situations. There is space for you, and you just need to go ahead and sign up because I guarantee that your life will be different. And it is just such a launching pad for the next steps you're going to take, getting connected. I mean, community is so important. And so why would you not want to go and spend some time with awesome people, right?
Yeah, definitely. Jacob, really quick, cap us off.
So I actually have 2, a personal story and a funny story. So a personal story is like summer camp was where I first got called into ministry and my just calling for missions. And I think that was the summer that like everything changed. I just got saved like the winter camp before. I was just walking like, God, like I don't really know what's up with my faith, and like that was the summer that like my faith changed who I am today. And like I wouldn't be in this position today if it wasn't for those moments that I've had at these summer camps. And honestly, they can happen for any of us. I've had friends, I've had students that say summer camp is the moment where I met with God the first time, and I've met with God the second time, whatever. But you can meet with God really anywhere, but summer camp is a prime time just to meet with God, just to reconnect. And
Well, hey, here's the deal. Summer camp is a time to make memories. It's a time to have fun and play games. It's a time to get to have fun with your friends, albeit sometimes it might also I can't say it that way. Summer camp's an awesome time to have fun with your friends, to be able to hang out, make memories. It's a time to also be able to get away and to be able to grow in our calling. It's to be able to have a time, like Jacob was saying, like Eric was saying, we were able to take time to get away and hear what God has for us. And so I just want to tell you, really, summer camp is not like this hyper spiritual place that like when you're at Silver Lake Camp, like you hear God better here. The reason why we have these encounters with God there, though, is you are separating and intentionally saying, I'm going away with a purpose. With a purpose of meeting with God. And so summer camp, it's a fun time. It's a great time. We got a lake. We got boats. We have games. We have competitions. We have a ton of good stuff. We got the sun. And it's going to be a good time. But also it's a time for us to meet with God. And honestly, that's the most important part. And we never lose sight of that here at True Life. And so we just want to say, come to summer camp. You're going to love it. It's going to be great. We'll have in the description some information actually about summer camp. So check that out. But right now, that's all the time we got. So we got to cut this off. We got to exit the layer. We got to be done for this week because we're going to have another episode for you guys next week. But we just want to say thank you for checking this out. We're glad you could be here, and we will see you next time in the layer.
Like, subscribe, comment.
Right down below.